You know, I really enjoy working with startups. It's exciting, it's creative, it's intense, and it really makes me feel that I'm a part of something great. Also, startups are a very unique type of clients if you run a business or if you're a freelancer. And I think very few people talk about what it's really like to work with them from the outside like I do. Yeah, so that's what this video is about. And who knows, you might end up realizing that working with startups could be a great option for you too. It's 7 in the morning and I'm supposed to be in the gym right now, but I'm definitely skipping it today because the day before yesterday, my brother-in-law and I went to a trampoline park to practice backflips on an air track. And yeah, the unbelievable muscle soreness kicked in this morning, so I am declaring today as a rest day and heading straight to the office. I'm not smoking, by the way. It's getting really, really chilly outside. It's like 5 degrees. Terrible. Just to give you some context, I work with tech startups whose business revolves around digital products or platforms like a website or a web app or a mobile app. And the service that my company provides is web and mobile app development. Now, the things I'm going to talk about in this video definitely apply to other services like copywriting, graphic design, digital marketing. So when it comes to working with startups, the key isn't necessarily to provide a unique set of hard skills, because my company isn't unique in a sense that there are thousands of other custom software development companies. But the secret is in the mindset and in the approach that are absolutely necessary if you want to work with a startup long term. Also, I usually work with small early stage startups with a headcount of around 2 to 10 people. Some of them are even at the beginning of the growth phase, which means that they have found product market fit, so they are already making some money, but they aren't quite ready to scale yet. Alright, I'll continue the video when I get to the office because it looks like filming in this morning traffic can be a bit dangerous. I really need to focus because everybody is in a rush. And I don't want anything unpleasant to happen. Okay, so let's start with the benefit. Why would you want to work with startups? So first and foremost, your work will have direct impact on the startup, on the business. So yeah, that's one big one. If you like responsibility, then yeah, impact is a big one here. You will most likely work together with a very small team. You will probably work together directly with the founders. So yeah, impact. So the second one is creativity. When you work with a small startup, it will probably require every ounce of your creativity to make the product successful. So yeah, creativity is number 2. The third one is relationships and community. When you work with startups, you're probably gonna be part of a community. You're most likely gonna meet other founders from other startups. As you start working with these founders, you're probably gonna have very close relationships with them, sometimes even friendships, I would say. So yeah, that's a pretty cool part of it. The fourth massive perk is that every startup offers something unique, a unique product, a unique approach, a unique service sometimes. So yeah, you can be part of something unique, which kind of means that work's never really gonna get boring. So yeah, it's always a challenge, it's always new, there's always something that comes up. So yeah, that's number 4. And the fifth thing I wrote down is fast-paced. Well, now this may not be a benefit for everyone, but if you like fast-paced work, then yeah, you will feel right at home working with a startup because there's no sitting around, no waiting around for other people. So these are the 5 benefits I wrote down, and I think for certain types of people or for people like me, this this basically describes the perfect project and the perfect client persona. Yeah, but working with startups definitely comes with their own set of challenges, and I think some of those or many of those challenges are actually tied to money, especially when the startup is early stage. Honestly, I can't even count how many times people have asked me why I chose early stage startups. I could just go for bigger businesses because they have the resources, they have the money, and startups are basically broke, so I can't really build a business on them. And you know, I think this is like the main thing I wanted to show in this video, because this is only half true. Yeah, let me show you. Okay, so I'm not quite sure how this is gonna turn out, but this is our money axis. And this here is our time axis. Usually when a startup is created, yeah, it starts from here, and it's nothing more than a bunch of enthusiastic people with no money wanting to do something great. These are the founders. Yeah, they start working on their idea, but they don't have any money. Yeah, but after some time, they will reach a point where they need to get money from somewhere, because otherwise they won't be able to move fast enough and they won't be competitive. So yeah, that's when they start raising money. Yeah, let's say this much money from friends, family usually. This is just an example though. I mean, every startup's journey is different, but let's say these three founders got some money from friends and family. Now they have access to some capital. What they're gonna do next is they're gonna spend that money as fast as they can, and they will try to get as far ahead as they possibly can with this money. So they burn their cash, and they're back at zero again. Now, if their idea is good enough, then they can start raising money again, which means that some other time goes by, and then they might raise a bigger sum of money, like a pre-seed round or something from proper investors. So that means at this point, they suddenly have access to capital again. They need to make as much progress as they possibly can and as fast as they can, so they burn all their cash again. And most likely they're gonna end up having no money again. Yeah, but if their product is good enough at this stage, they might be able to raise another round of investment. It could be a seed round, for example. Yeah, so that means they can spend some more money to progress. Yeah, so here they're burning cash. Hopefully, somewhere around this point, they finally start making money and they finally break even. So instead of going back to having no money again, suddenly they start generating their own money. Yeah, so this is where they're gonna start generating revenue. Yeah, so based on my experience, this is most startups' financial situations, or unfortunately not most startups, because most startups basically fail either here or somewhere. Very few startups make it to the point actually where they actually generate revenue. Just a quick side note, there's definitely safer and quicker way to make money than to work with startups. But if these benefits mean something to you, then I think you could potentially consider working with startups, because it's really rewarding, it's really fulfilling, it's good. So when you work with startups from the outside as a contractor or a service provider, then these are the stages where you can make money. Here, and yeah. Potentially here, because this is when they're actually spending money on growth, product development, etc, etc. Yeah, so this chart, believe it or not, basically outlines even the sales strategy and how you should approach these founders if you want to work with them, because this is the tricky bit. Because during these phases, founders usually focus on development and, you know, building their thing. They don't usually go to networking events. They are focusing on their internal team, their contractors, etc, because they're building. Yeah, so if you go to a networking event, it's more likely that you're gonna meet founders who have no money at all, because these are the founders who are usually the most active at networking events. And that's perfectly fine, and to be honest, that's the beauty of it. So in my opinion, if you ever decide to work with early stage startups, I think it's best to basically meet them and befriend them when they don't have any money. So if you like the product they're working on, if you like their idea, if you like the people, then be friends with them and go to networking events with them. And yeah, most importantly, try to be as helpful as you possibly can. And I don't mean like being fake helpful. Genuinely provide as much help to them as you possibly can while they don't have money. When they reach this point, if you were the guy who was helping them, then it's quite likely that once they have access to resources, you're going to be the person they turn to, because you build trust, you help them through this phase. It's quite likely that there's gonna be a pause in the business relationship, because obviously, because they are not profitable, they're gonna have to raise new money again. Because the thing is, during these phases, startups are happy to spend money because they want to go fast and they need all the help they can possibly get for their money. And this last phase, and this is where everything miraculously stabilizes, and starting from there, you could potentially have a continuous happy business relationship with them. Yeah, so this is the point basically where you want to get to with a startup. You're most likely going to have to establish the relationship with these startup companies while they don't have any money. You need to stay helpful, you need to stay around them, you need to nurture the relationship with the founders, and hopefully, if everything goes well, once they raise money, then hopefully you will be the person they turn to when they need additional help and speed for money. Yeah, it's past 6 p.m. already, so I'm going home now. I hope you enjoyed this episode and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.